Wait a minute, what am I doing? Two men and a what? Two friends from film school, one who graduated, one who did, and they decided to make a podcast. Okay, this has never been done before, right? Okay. This is Matthew and Harrison's Two Men in a Movie. It's not what it sounds like.
Who is it? Mark Wahlberg, who's supposed to be on Flight?
Yes, who would have stopped it?
And he said, like, if I was on there, I would have stopped 9/11.
He didn't know how bad it was. I was on Flight 93. He doesn't know how bad it was there. I crawl out of the wreckage in a field in Pennsylvania.
This isn't stolen valor. That you can.
Oh,
say
those
that.
people aren't heroes.
It's not. Well, it's not about being heroes. You can pretend to be a hero.
It's still. Is it against the law to be stolen valor?
Yes.
That's
well,
stupid.
I think it's actually only against the law if you get a benefit from it, like a tangible one.
Like if you're if you're lying on like a form that you're a veteran.
If you're like getting jobs that are set aside for veterans.
Yeah. Okay.
that's
So don't
illegal.
lie in forms, but do tell everyone that you served.
If you accept
I'm not
military discounts.
Don't accept military discounts.
I'm also not a lawyer. I don't know that it's not illegal.
Go
to just
around
say.
be like, yeah, I served 4 years in Iraq, and like, would you like the discount? And you're like, I don't deserve the discount after what I did to those kids. You'd be so cool.
Then it's not stolen valor. It's a type of activism if you think about it in a really specific way.
Yeah, pretend to be a soldier who's haunted by his crimes to like raise awareness.
Sure.
We should all like come up with like a platoon we all served in.
No, we shouldn't do that, actually.
We can get jackets and stuff.
You say we all, I couldn't get away with it.
Yeah, you
I'm
could,
too
but me and
young.
Harrison. I mean, Harrison could easily. You put like one of those like military vests on him. He looks like a guy who served in Iraq.
Yeah, you could have served at 18.
You got the beard and you got the hair.
Not
for it.
Iraq necessarily, but Afghanistan, like later in the war. You could have served at 18.
People regularly confuse me for 5 to 8 years older than I currently am. I get regularly confused for my mid 30s.
That's interesting. I get regularly confused a lot younger than I currently am. And I think
really?
I think it all has to do with the beard. You have one and I don't.
Sure.
Everyone thinks I'm exactly 30. Spotify said you're 30 years old.
But yeah, when I was 18, people thought I was in my mid 20s. Now that I'm in my late 20s, people think I'm in my mid 30s.
Yeah, I was at a gas station that I worked at, and it was the end of my shift, and I went to buy like a small like wine because I was going over to a friend's house or whatever, and they were like, "You're 21," and I was like, "I'm 23." And they like were freaking out. They couldn't believe it. They asked to see my ID, which is really fun. They're supposed to do that either way, but they like actually thought there was a chance I was lying.
I had the same experience. I was working in the other direction. I was working in a cafe, and I just casually mentioned, because someone brought up 9/11, I just casually mentioned seeing it happen. And they're like, "You didn't see it happen." I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 30." And they're like, "No, you're not. Let me see your ID." And they were like, they all wanted me to tell them stories. Now, if you grow out a beard and grow out your hair some, I think you can both be like the like operator types. Look like you used to serve. We can get cool jackets.
Yeah.
We get Harrison some aviators. He was like our helicopter guy.
That'd
I
be
need to
badass.
lose about 100 pounds, but like I
No,
could,
you don't. The war's over.
Yeah. You would just need to say that you were skinnier then. You just
Yeah.
let yourself go after the war. Many such cases.
PTSD caused
Yeah.
me to gain all this weight. Yeah.
Sure. Many
Yeah.
such cases.
The war gave you weight. It gave you Tourette's. Gave you a fear of clowns. You don't talk about the last one.
Perfect.
We were involved in the Kandahari Giant incident.
You could be the only person in world history who ever got Tourette's at war. It's a medical miracle. People can't explain it.
Flying a helicopter does things to a man. That's what you say when anyone asks how that's possible. How do you get Tourette's from war? Flying a helicopter does a thing to a man. We were Black Hawk Down. That's us.
You got a bullet embedded in your shoulder, and then you just started going la la la.
Oh, man, that'd be so cool. That'd be so sick. I'm gonna get us jackets.
I don't think you should get physical honorary clothing for stolen valor.
Me and Harrison went to the same high school, for the listener at home, and one time somebody came up to me after you'd graduated, but you had just like given a speech to the media people or whatever. You were like home.
Yeah.
And they came up to me and they were like, "Does he actually have Tourette's?" Because they thought you were just making a really insensitive joke. They thought you were just really committed to like an insensitive bit. I was like, "Yes, he does. He's not joking."
Jesus Christ.
He earned that Tourette's overseas. You respect that man?
Yeah, he got it in a war.
This is gonna rock. I'm gonna get you prescriptive aviators so you can always wear them, and then you can always just kind of stare off into the middle distance, kind of like traumatized. remembering the things you've seen, tasting the sand.
What's the name I should just keep whispering every once in a while?
It needs to be like, we need to find popular Middle Eastern children names.
I was going to say Fatima.
2006. You like it's definitely a child. You definitely something you did led to the death of a child, and you're haunted by it. Maybe we get you a small burnt teddy bear that you fiddle with.
Christ Almighty!
That might be a step too far. Oh my god! I'm still
Welcome to the Two Men in the Movie podcast.
Dude.
It's a rough time. Do you guys? I mean, do you know about the Kandahari giant?
What?
The Kandahari giant. It's my favorite thing that came out of the Iraq War, besides the liberation of the people of Iraq.
Can we start the podcast?
Now, talk about the Kandahari giant. There's this. There's reports. It's like a cryptid that, like, apparently, like a small group encounter where they were like, this giant ginger giant came out of a cave and killed like 2 servicemen, and then they had to kill him.
That's
So
crazy.
It's like a Mothman, but Middle Eastern.
You guys should read Martyr by Kaveh Akbar.
Okay.
It's about the Kandahari giant.
It mentions the Iraq War a lot. It's about an Iranian immigrant in America who is an artist who recently got sober.
There it is. There's my favorite picture
It
of the
also-
incident.
That's crazy. It also talks about like his parents and stuff, and his uncle served in the war in a really like interesting way that I have no idea if is a true fact, like if this is a real thing that happened or if it's made up for the novel. But it's that he was part of the Iranian military, and he would dress up as the angel of death and ride around the battlefield after battles were over, so that the last thing soldiers saw, they thought an angel had come to deliver them, so that they would die with faith in their heart and go to heaven.
Hell yeah. Dude.
Instead of losing faith, dying, and go to hell.
Hell yeah.
Which is, I have no idea if that's a real thing that happened. It might be. I should probably
No, we
fact
just
check it.
established that it's not. I personally don't care if it's real or not.
But it's in the novel, and even if it's not real, it's a hell of a metaphor. That's crazy.
This might be a hot take. I think that if you're dying in a pointless war, you shouldn't die with faith.
I think if you're dying in a pointless war, you should get to go to heaven whether or not you
Yeah.
die with faith. Like, especially like you're in Iran, like they were conscripted. Like they didn't volunteer. Like they were, that sucks for them. Like they should get to go to heaven.
I think it's still in Catholicism that if you die in like a God war, you go to heaven. And I mean, we made a lot of talk about how like we're doing God's work in Iraq. I think they slipped by
A God war.
a God war. You know, like a war where you're like, I'm serving God.
I know what you mean. I'm just, yeah, sure. I guess a holy war or crusade.
I think, I mean, there's a lot of people who call it a crusade who's like, we're doing God's work. I think that qualifies anyone who died there to die as like a battlefield martyr for the Lord and go to heaven.
I think it depends on how high ranked you are.
Catholic Baha'u'llah.
If you were a general, if you were an American general in Iraq, you go to hell.
Yeah.
If you were like a private who was lied to by your government, I think you get to go to heaven.
Well, that's the thing that like every general didn't die like a warrior's death. I can't remember any generals off the top of my head that like died, like big ones. But I think if they did, it was like a bomb or just like a drone strike, and they weren't like out there fighting.
Isn't it crazy that like they just didn't have a nuclear weapons program? That's just not true.
Yeah, that's why we invaded.
Yeah, but it just like wasn't true. Like obviously everybody knows that, but isn't it crazy that we don't talk about it as much as we should?
Oh, everyone knew they didn't have. It was like the worst presentation ever given at the UN. It was just the flimsiest justification.
And now they're trying to do it again with Iran. Also, we might be going to war with Venezuela for some reason.
Does Venezuela have nukes?
No.
Yeah,
But,
probably.
I mean, Trump said that you should consider Venezuelan airspace closed. Who knows what he meant by that? But he did say that.
I mean, there is the old saying that if you're not really a state until you have a nuclear weapon, because that's the only thing that's going to stop anyone from invading you.
One, it can't be that old of a saying. Nukes are less than 100 years old. Two, now that we've veered into current events, can we please start the podcast?
Like I know, like as soon as Syria gave up its nukes, we invaded it. So
Sure.
I think everyone should have one nuke. Welcome to the Two Men in a Movie podcast, where each week one man shows another man a movie he can't believe he hasn't seen. As always, I'm your road race winning. I won the road race
Oh, on the way home last
on
night.
the way home last night.
Right.
Host Matthew Olenchek, joined as always by my safe driving, not racer, not a road warrior.
Was unaware we were in a race.
We're always in a race. Co-host and co-husband Harrison Poole. And this week, We were joined in person in the boyish flesh by wonderful brother of the Poole family, Ethan.
Five Nights at Freddy's. We're doing Five Nights at Freddy's too. Yippee!
I think you're officially our most recurring guest.
Hell yeah.
Brandon's gonna be so pissed.
How many episodes has Brandon done? Because this is your third or fourth.
Third.
Third? Okay.
I think
Green
Brandon.
Knight, Superman, and Five Nights at Freddy's too.
I think Brandon's done too.
I've only done movies I would actually recommend somebody see, so I feel good about that.
Fair enough.
I was going to say only done good movies, but I don't know that I can commit to that. But only movies I would genuinely recommend to someone.
We're gonna have an arms race now of movies. Everyone's gonna want that spot because Jenna's had 2.
Yes, Neve has had 2. Brandon's had 2. Joe's had 1.
Joe was on the podcast.
Yeah, he brought Truman Show.
I totally forgot.
You didn't watch the movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch the movie.
But yeah.
You did watch this movie. I know for a fact. You were giving me color commentary throughout it.
And
it was so nice that Mel had representation.
it's so nice that Mel gets representation
Okay,
in
so-
the film.
Did he explain to you the okay? Oh, Mel's also done too.
Yeah, Mel's also done too.
So Mel is mixed, half black, half Italian, and
You can just say half white.
no, she explicitly says half Italian. And so whenever the very overtly Italian mafia people show up on the prereq for the pre-res for
The Cinemark Movie
the
Club.
Cinemark Movie Club, Matthew and I will lean over to each other and be like, "It's so nice that Mel has proper representation
hates
on
that
the
ad.
screen."
I brought
and
up-
she hates it.
When we went to the Running Man, we were late, and I'm like, "Oh God, we're gonna miss all the ads. We're gonna miss all my popcorn." We get there, my popcorn's in the seat because I ordered it ahead. They left it in the seat. I'm like, "Oh hell yeah!" I sit down and start eating popcorn. The next thing that comes up on the screen, hey! I was, and I told her this, and she's like, "I fucking hate that ad. Why is it still in theaters?" I'm hoping for one where one day we get one with like a big pierogi, so I can have a little represent. We don't get much, but us Polish people don't get much representation in the media.
What would be a Romani food that you would want representation for?
Someone else's.
You're not a high enough percentage to make that work.
I was gonna say.
I mean, Mel's made that joke, and she's not.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, she's European, so she can. She's half European.
Okay, anyway, we're talking about the movie Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Oh, are we done with the? Are we done with the first half?
Time limited. I thought we were going right into the movie. That's what we said last night, right?
We can.
Because you have to leave soon, I thought.
I have to leave at like 4:30.
Oh, what time?
We have like 2 hours.
Oh, then we have time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
have
can fuck around for a while longer if we want.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, really, just I'm not sure there needs to be a food because there's no Italian food in this ad, right? But
No,
like,
it's just popcorn and stuff.
yeah, maybe the jaunty familial spirit.
Elaborate.
No.
He's not Romani enough to elaborate.
No, the jaunty, it's people with great persecution. It's you and yours against the world.
You do know this is like a real culture. It's not like a bit. You can't just commit to it as a bit. This is a real culture.
I can claim
people
anything
have.
I want.
Okay.
This is a white man who thinks he's a minority.
I am a minority, and you can't call me not one because you're a wasp, Mr. Majority. What's your ethnic background, huh?
Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your head,
Yeah.
are you not white Anglo-Saxon?
No.
But you are.
No.
Like, if you're Romani by 1%, you're also Anglo-Saxon by minority percentages.
No.
Okay.
Not true.
Like, I get the Polish argument, but if you get to claim things that are only 1%, you have to claim everything that's only 1%.
No.
Okay.
You can just kind of pick and choose what you want about yourself and then just claim those things exclusively.
Sure.
A lot of people think you can't just say things, but you can, in fact, just say
It is
things.
true. The government can't stop you.
They can't stop me. And people just believe things you say.
I unironically have noticed that. If you say things quantitatively enough, and especially, this is a good trick for people at home, if you want to lie about shit that doesn't matter, and you're with people who are in on the bit. I have to qualify it because I don't want to seem evil. If you pull out your phone for a second after somebody asks a question and make like you're Googling something, you can just say whatever. You can just say whatever afterwards and they will believe you. because as long as it's not important enough for them to fact check. Although this does mean sometimes you say real things and people don't believe you. Like I once told a friend that 50% of murders in the United States go unsolved, which is a real true statistic, and they didn't believe you because I'd cried wolf one too many times.
I was in a
Which is fair. That is honestly, I can't blame them for that.
I was in a pottery class in college, and at the end we were like putting the clay back into bricks, and they're like, "You're really good at making that into a brick. Like, how are you so good at doing that?" And I was like, "I spent like 6 months as a Belgian brick maker." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was in Europe. I was traveling around Germany and Belgium, and I just like ran out of fucking money because I was just spending it all on like booze and pretzels." And so I had to like pick up a job as a brick maker in order to get back home. And they're like, "Do you speak Belgian?" I'm like, "No, I think I was being like underpaid." Like it was not a great time. I wasn't having a good time in a whimsical world making bricks with my Belgian friends. I was a man who did not speak the language, being underpaid in a very labor-heavy profession just to get back home. And they're like, "That's so interesting." And then other people come up like, "Are you the Belgian brick guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. I did that."
That's awesome.
Just stealing valor all over the place.
I do have like a deep worry that eventually, someday, everyone in my life will all be in the same room, and then they'll realize that all of them have different stories.
Have I told you that I thought his name was wrong for like 2 solid years?
What did you think it was?
So he told me his name is Edward Matthew.
I don't remember it. I told him this. I'm like, "Am I gaslighting you?" I don't remember saying it. Was inconsequential when I made the remark.
He said, "My name is Edward Matthew, but I go by Matthew."
Sure.
And his name is Matthew Edward.
That's so funny.
I saw his ID and they were flipped, and I was like, "You told me."
Yeah, it's right. It says it right up there. Matthew.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I hadn't been to his apartment at the time. He said his name was actually Edward and that he goes by Matthew. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. People go by their middle names.
Lots of people do that.
All the time.
I've thought about trying to go by Christopher, but I've just given up.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I don't know why I said it.
That's a good bit.
And then like 2 years later at work, he pulled out his ID and I noticed it and I was like, "You lied to me."
I was like, "Yeah, probably." I mean, I just told someone my dad was eaten by bears.
But it wasn't like, but like stuff like that and the Belgian bricklaying, I know is a lie immediately. Because why isn't it? Like, even if it's true, it's not. But like,
Well, see, that's a trick.
I go by my middle name is such a stupid, inconsequential thing to lie about.
Why would you lie?
That what do you get out of that?
If you constantly tell outrageous lies, people expect you as a person who tells outrageous lies. So when you make just matter-of-fact statements that aren't outrageous, they believe them regardless. Because they're like, if he's lying, it'd be stupid.
Yeah, like, what do you get out of me thinking that your name was Edward Matthew?
Well, it's just about the sense of like emotional satisfaction of thinking you're smarter than people.
Yeah. When I tell someone something and they believe me, no matter how believable it is, like I could be, "But what do you have for breakfast?" I could be like waffles or really had pancakes. I'm like, they fucking believe me, idiot.
It's a bad trait. I've tried to stop. I've actually taken active efforts towards stopping. Very clearly, Matthew is not. But I've like, this is like a bad habit. Because it is like intoxicating in a way.
No, I just got a diagnosis for it and then said, "Cool. That means I rock."
That's not okay.
I can't believe my therapist gave me a diagnosis that just reads sick as hell. Narcissist, more like narcissic.
I just don't get it. Like, I understand pulling. I can understand pulling the rug under someone on like a big lie. Like if when he was actually able to convince our old coworker Kelly that his dad was mauled by bears, that I helped sell that lie. I'll tell you that story in a second. I get that like that satisfaction. I understand the little like, yeah, my name's actually Edward. Like,
it's a constant need to show to yourself that everyone around you's little fools who aren't as quick and cunning as you are. You are the fox and they are the rat. What do foxes eat? Do they eat rats?
I mean, I think they would eat a rat. I don't know if it is what they hunt, but they definitely would eat one.
So Matthew told our old coworker, who was later fired for spitting on a manager.
Hell yeah!
This was
brother.
after, by the way. I told her this after because she's like, "What are you doing for Father's Day?" And I'm like, "Nothing." She's like, "Why not?" I'm like, "My father's in the picture." And she's like, "Why not?"
Okay, actually, that's on them. You don't ask that as the follow-up to that. That's psychotic.
And so he was like, my dad was eaten by bears. And then she came to me as his best friend and was like, was Matthew's dad really eaten by bears? And I was like, yeah, I'm shocked he told you. He doesn't really like talking about it.
That's funny. It's a good bit.
And it's so many people would keep coming up to me like, was your dad really eaten by bears? But yeah, I wish people would stop bringing it up, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some people's dads do get eaten by bears. It's a plausible lie.
He did it to save me and my mom. We were hiking the Appalachians.
What a hero. Shout out.
But like that, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
I had waffles instead of pancakes. It makes zero sense.
I think it's just the thrill of getting away with something.
the fact that you had waffles or that you actually had pancakes.
It's just getting away with anything, I think.
That's insane.
You're saying it's insane, but I don't have depressive periods because I'm always gleeful. Every moment I'm getting a dopamine hit.
Okay.
Maybe if people want to stop being depressed, they should just tell constant lies.
Yeah, that's probably a good coping mechanism.
Feel good about themselves.
I think if people are... Never mind.
Now you can say it.
I was going to say, I think if people are depressed, they should start drinking alcohol every time they're sad.
Hell yeah, brother. Hey, it worked until it didn't, is all I'm saying.
It's true. He wasn't very depressed in college outwardly. You wouldn't look at him and think that's a depressed man unless you understood how alcoholism works.
Unless you had a conversation with me. But if you just saw me like casually about, you'd think I was having the time of my life.
You think that's the happiest man. You'd be like walking out of like motion graphics and you just hear, hoo, 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 hoo. And this man comes stumbling down, tells you you're great, hugs a person, walks off. You're like, that's the happiest man on earth.
Hell yeah.
He was a cheerful boy. We called him Mr. Giggles.
They called me the drunk hippo.
I've heard that before, yeah.
We all had cool nicknames in college.
What was yours?
Asshole.
That's not a cool nickname.
No, but it fit. Jenna was Stampy because she had these light up shoes because she has small feet and she gets angry a lot, so she'd always stomp her feet and so they'd be lighting up, and so we'd call her Stampy. Or Hoedown, because whenever she got, and you remember this, but whenever she got like an A+ on like a test, she'd get up in the lecture hall and do like a little Hoedown dance because she likes line dancing.
I think if you're the kind of person who stomps your feet when you're mad, you can't get light up shoes. It just ruins the aesthetic of anger.
I think you should only have light up shoes.
Well, actually, my nickname in college was Danger to the Program, but that was more like a state designation of my like personhood. The academic state labeled me as a undesirable.
Well, yeah, you were an active, not threat, but like deterrent to the program.
Danger was the...
Yeah, I know
was the
danger,
word.
but like, yeah, you were actively disrespectful to the program and almost everyone in it.
Yeah.
You tried to make a snuff film.
What?
This would be my senior project. It was going to be an ethical snuff. I was going to get someone's permission who was dying. I was going to film the moment of their death and do like dream sequences around it.
Is that a snuff film? If they die, I thought they have to be murdered for it to be a snuff film.
I thought it's just if they actually die.
If it's just dying, then it probably wouldn't even be the first ethical snuff film then. I've seen footage
I
of
was just
people
trying
die.
to I was just trying to make one for my senior project.
That's fair. They said no?
Scott said no. Like hard no.
Mm-hmm.
A pornographic movie of an actual murder.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no, it wouldn't have been a snuff
I was going to
film.
say, I thought it had to be a real murder.
Murray explained to me why I couldn't do it, and Bobby just asked me to please not do it.
Like those like terrorist beheading videos I know are snuff films.
Yeah. So it's not. Yeah. So it wasn't even.
So
a
it wasn't
snuff
even a
film.
problem. They should let me make it.
No, they should not have let you attempt to make an ethical snuff film.
What's the worst that could have happened?
I actually think that if it is fully consensual, I do think people have the right to have their
Thank you.
death filmed if they want it.
yeah.
Like that's fine, I guess. Like, I don't
Sure.
think it's immoral. I wouldn't do that in film school personally.
Yeah, I don't
but-
think a 25-year-old like should be the one, like a 25-year-old stranger who I don't know.
You'd
I
maybe
don't know
want
if
a professional documentarian.
Are you saying that like it shouldn't be like shown in a lecture hall to like 50 students?
No.
Kind of badass, but,
Right?
But no.
I think if it's hospital footage done by a professional crew, fine. I think you found a stranger at a hospice center feels exploiting.
Look, after watching the video about the Cuyahoga River, the people needed something good, something real, you know?
it's very it's in my head. It's similar to when Kent State, for that guy's master's thesis, was going to do The Last Days of MLK, where MLK was played by a white guy.
What?
So they canceled it. But
Thank God.
I forgot about that.
So here's what it was. This dude's master's thesis.
Right.
He got approval and everything. And his thing is, this is offensive. I know this is offensive. What is offensive about this? Is it the words he says? Is it the specific word he says? Is it the fact that it is a white guy taking a black man's words? Is it the premise in and of itself? Where is the line?
I think it's the white guy taking a black man's words, probably.
Maybe, but we don't know, and we wouldn't know until we saw it. He was literally trying to find where it's like, where are the individual lines of the audience? Like, where does it go? I know this is wrong.
Sure.
Where does it go wrong? And I think that is what college theater experimental college theater is for.
Sure, to an extent.
Remember, was it Hooded?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that was he needed to hire a black co-writer, and I think he did eventually. But
there was like a police alert. It's like black. It was literally just like black man in hoodie, and so it was a big that's racist. And so like a white guy's like, this is my story to tell, and so he's going to make Hooded about a black guy in a hoodie who faces racial discrimination. And there was, at least at the start, not a single black writer.
Yeah, he submitted the first draft to the discussion board.
It was like bad.
And apparently it was so offensive that they more or less forced him. He had to make a public statement that I am getting a black co-writer.
I do think there is something artistically interesting about intentionally trying to push yourself to the boundary. I just don't know that white people should be putting ourselves in that position to be asking these questions.
Like, because you can follow his thought process, because it came out, it was announced like the week after the text alert went out. So it was a man who said, oh, this is bad. I should make a movie about it.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, you shouldn't.
Yeah,
you're incredibly white.
I don't know anything about the master student. I don't know if they were white, black, or anything. They were probably white. Like, that feels like a very white idea. I don't know anything about the master student who did it, but I wouldn't have seen it just because I didn't go to see a lot of whatever. But I do think that
I went to the Black Box All Out. I would have seen it.
Yeah,
and it would have been great because they're so many of the student projects, they just weren't exploring anything, or they're exploring really weird things, or it's another production of a Shakespeare, which were good productions, but it's nothing new. There's this one production I went to see, which was about I don't even remember who the main character was, but I remember that it was it's in high school, and that the teacher was in love with one of his students, and in the end he hangs himself to a Pearl Jam song. He walks behind this curtain where they're doing it in silhouette, and Pearl Jam's playing, and he hangs himself.
Earlier,
how could they get the rights to the Pearl Jam song?
They almost probably didn't.
They probably did.
I get the student film part, but you were these are being shown somewhere, right?
This was a theater.
They probably got student right.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
This was a student theater project that got shown once.
Oh, okay. It was still a student thing.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
It wasn't
then.
the released in family video. Now we're fighting the David Bowie estate for many years.
Yeah.
Either the same year or the year after. I want to say it's the same year because it was just a whole hullabaloo of the Kent Theater Department. They did a mostly white cast they casted a mostly white cast of West Side Story that Lancaster does all the time, but people actually got upset appropriately. And so they redid it to Children of Eden, and it was real. They restructured the cast and brought everyone to Children of Eden, and those are two wildly different shows.
Yeah, those are not even almost the same.
One is a very dance heavy show. You casted the background people and your leads for dancing, and then switched to and they did fine.
I'm sure.
I had to watch it for a class. It was fine. But it was they definitely were not cast for the roles they were supposed to be cast for.
Man, the art programs rocked at Kent, dude. Every week it was something new. Never a boring moment. I was talking to a student that's there now, and he's like, yeah, it's super boring. We just kind of like do our work and go home. I'm like, that sucks. You missed out. There's no weird racist, like, race question castings. There's no teachers hanging themselves because they're a pedophile. There's no drinking. There's no coming to class drunk or fucking in the control room.
I know. No one's sleeping on the couch in the control room. Sleeping with each other on the couch in the control room.
What's even the point?
Well,
that's what college is for.
Yeah.
I mean, do whatever you want, live your life, but like that's what college is for.
He said like no one comes to class drunk, and I'm like, that's insane.
That's wrong. That feels wrong.
Or it just means that the youths today are better at pretending to be sober.
Maybe most of us were drunk though, so like that's not true. Maybe it was only some of us. I think most of us were a little drunk, and then some of us were a lot drunk.
Everyone was kind of drunk.
Yeah,
like because I went to like my sound class having only like consumed a blue ribbon, then passed out immediately after getting there because I'd only consumed a blue ribbon, and I would do Jello shots in the stairwell. If I had like a good 20 minutes between a class, I'd run to Chipotle, get like a margarita or two, down them, then run back to class.
If I had like 45 minutes, I would go to 101 bottles. So
that's how good art's made.
I don't necessarily always subscribe to that theory, but I will say
it's how some good art is made.
It's how some good art is made.
It is the having a life that is falling apart is the easiest way to make it. I don't think it's the only way to make good art. But like in a film program, the best stuff's gonna come from the people who are like having that like tortured artist experience, because other ways of making good art require things I don't think a 20-year-old is capable of.
Yeah, didn't you want to make like a documentary or whatever about a list of movies you considered co-directed by cocaine?
No, this is a real thing I want to do. If I'm ever in charge of curating a list for Criterion Channel or for like my local library, I have two ideas. I want to do movies that were actually directed by cocaine, or I want to do blank checks that don't cash. Like Valerian, Jupiter Ascending.
I like Valerian, but I know what you mean. Weren't successful in the theater.
Yeah, weren't successful and not necessarily. Critics aren't necessarily like my main focus, but like we're kind of seen as mixed reviews. But they were given like insane budgets seemingly out of nowhere, like Folie à Deux or like Joker Folie à Deux. Though I wouldn't include that one because I just don't want to ever see it.
Well,
but
also the Joker Folie à Deux budget didn't come out of nowhere. Joker 1 made $1 billion, and like won the Golden Lion, right? It like won like not even just like Oscars or whatever, like indie like film studio or indie film awards were like, yes, this is our masterpiece.
Just saying, triple the budget is so
paid off.
You gotta get that Gaga money, though.
You gotta get that Gaga money.
And you know what? I don't think that movie's good, but she is the best thing in it, so I hope she was paid well. She is trying desperately to inject life into every scene.
Do you think that was made on alcohol or sadness or cocaine?
That feels like a movie that was made out of spite.
It was made stone cold sober out of spite. I wish he was drunk while directing it. I'm not joking. I think the movie would be better.
It would be like Hangover 3.
It'd be sillier.
Yeah.
Like there'd be some like fucking life in that thing. That is my thing with Joker Folie à Deux, which is not the movie we're talking about. Like I would have preferred it be the bad version of its Joker and Harley Quinn doing a musical instead of a fucking dull courtroom drama. It's not even just that it's bad, it's boring. It's a supervillain movie. It shouldn't be boring. It's just crazy. And also I watched it alone in theaters, which is sad. But it was right after I got out of work, and I was like, oh, I'll go see a movie. I liked Joker 1. Maybe it'll be good.
Alcohol makes things look like... I just know that like the biggest projects made by sober people. Remember when we had that like volley, that barrage of like... I'm a comedian. It's a mini. This is a mini series. I'm a comedian. There's like 3 of these. I'm a stand-up comedian. I meet a manic pixie dream girl. This is my story. We had like 3 of them back to back.
None of them were made by me or Matt, the actual stand-up comedians of our group.
We did film at Hilarities. It was actually, I'm gonna say the stand-up in that scene good because I watched it 20 times and I wasn't annoyed at the end. Like 25 because the director kept vaping a lot and so it kept showing up in the shots, so we'd have to redo some shots. But I watched this guy deliver his set 25 times. I'm like, it's good.
Who'd you get? Like, who was the?
He was dating Zoe Alex.
Oh, okay.
That was Mrs. Spectacular.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Fucking rock, dude. It was such a good time in my life. Just every day coming into something new. Being handed. And for some reason, despite my poor reputation in the program, my less than stellar reputation in the program, I ended up reading, like, being the first one to read a lot of scripts. I guess because people trusted me, and I would. Like, I would read the script if you hand me a script, which is a big thing. A lot of people are like, I'm busy. I'm like, I don't want to read it. And, like, I guess they trusted me to be honest about it. But, like, I read, like, a lot of bad projects that never made it to, like, camera. There's this one called The God of Ohio. It's about God living in Ohio. And I was handed this massive script. And I opened it, and the first page was, like, a book. And I just closed. I'm like, you have to reformat this entire script. This is not a script. You wrote a book.
God would live in Ohio. This is the promised land. This is the real Zion.
I mean, you're right. The Western Reserve should be free.
By the rivers of Zion, his people wept. They meant the Ohio River.
Are there 13 suburbs of Cleveland? Can we make those the 13 tribes? Is that a thing I can make work?
Yeah, probably.
Even if there aren't officially 13 suburbs, we can figure our way around it.
There's probably more, so we can pick and choose the good ones.
Sure. That feels like it can get dicey real quick.
The people who actually think Zion is in America just make up other tribes of Israel. That's where they think Native Americans come from, which is crazy, by the way. You shouldn't be allowed to think that. Like, it's not that I actually support that belief. That's just a weird thing to believe. No disrespect to any Mormons out there who I'm sure are lovely and nice people or whatever. But, like, I don't think you should just be able to make up an origin story for races you're not a part of. At least not as a white person.
Well, that's just science.
It's not just science.
I mean, I'm sure the person that was like, this is the cradle of humanity, this is where our entire species come from, was white because that was way in the past and they were more racist then, so I'm not sure they would have let a person of color be in the scientific community as easily.
Right, but that isn't making up an origin story. Like, the humans evolved in Ethiopia, or around where modern Ethiopia is.
Well, I mean,
that's not made up. That's like, there's like evidence for that.
And they read it on the golden plates.
I'm not against white people doing science. That's not what I'm saying.
Well, they didn't make up the lost tribes of Israel. Angel Mahoney gave them the golden plates, and they read it off. They're using the special seer stone. That's fact. That's historical fact.
I thought you were Catholic.
Yeah, I am.
But you think Mormonism is true?
I think that the golden plates is true. I'm not sure I believe anything on the golden plates, but I do think the Angel Mahoney came down and gave them golden plates, probably as a joke. So much of my therapy is just me explaining my belief systems to an increasingly bewildered woman.
God was just doing a bit.
Like, I think we had a discussion in therapy where it's something along the lines of, so you don't believe in the rest of it, but you believe in this one particular part? Yeah. I think that's the right one.
Hell yeah.
It's insane. But no, actually, you do believe you can just pick and choose whatever you believe. Oh, never mind.
Well, truth is relative, and I'm right. So
Five Nights at Freddy's 2, guys.
it's what FNAF should have been.
Oh yeah, Zero Nights at Freddy's. The countdown is done. I've mentioned the countdown every other episode I'm on, but I don't think I've actually explained what it is. We were all in a group chat in which I changed the name of the group chat every day to like 200 Nights at Freddy's, 199 Nights at Freddy's.
And this is our second time in this experience.
Leading up. Yeah, I did it for the first movie too. And then I did it for this one. And I've checked. They are making a Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but it does not have a release date yet. But when it gets one, I will do it again.
You know what?
I'll do the bit.
Unlike with the first one, I'm glad they're making it. You know, I'm back in the franchise because the second movie addressed all the problems it had with the first movie.
That's fair. Yeah, real quick before we start, do you think this one was better or worse than the first one?
Better.
I also think it was better. Although I will say we saw it with Harrison's girlfriend, Geneva.
A real gamer girl.
And she liked the first one better, she said.
Oh, that's fair.
But I just want to throw out that this is not a universal opinion. But I also thought this one was better.
Critically, it's doing so much worse.
Which is weird.
Which is weird.
It's just so weird to me. It's doing so much worse because, like, I'm like, but buddy, the first one was literally like buy content, 50% a man in a dream world watching his brother be kidnapped. That's like 50% of the movie.
The first movie, I can look this up, but it's like a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes critic score. I don't know the audience score, but this one has like a 13%.
Which is weird. I guess
It's not that, it's fine.
You
I
remember
don't
when we saw
wanna-
the first one, I was like, this movie's all dream sequences and like a way too long we're building a pillow fort scene. It has nothing I want to see out of a FNAF movie.
I don't want to be one of those, oh, I hate critics. Critics don't get it movies. Because I do think critics provide an important service to like art. I think they're an important part of the ecosystem. But I do think sometimes there are incentives to where critics don't decide to rate a movie based on what it is trying to be. And I feel like Five Nights at Freddy's and Five Nights at Freddy's 2 are actually pretty good at being what they are trying to be.
And I think the second one's even better at it.
I think the
Because,
second one
like,
is much better.
I can remember one animatronic kill from the first movie.
It's the cupcake.
It's not even the cupcake because like that. It's the shadow of the man getting his head bit.
I was gonna say I remember the shadow of the bite and the cupcake, and then if we count this as a kill, I do remember the spring locks in the suit killing William.
But like this one has like so many, and even if they aren't like even attempts on it, it feels like it's like the game. Like there's like it has it more faithfully captures the experience of the game. They have him. They even do the game segment where he's in a room trying to avoid the animatronics.
I liked that. I wish they did more of that in the first movie. Not that I think the first movie's bad. I'm actually a defender of it compared to you two. You both say it's like a 4. I say it's like a 6. I think it trends better than it trends bad. But I think there's something into the premise of Five Nights at Freddy's as a game of like you're in one room and that's all the power you have and you have to ward things off that you could turn into a full movie. Like I think that is a horror concept that could be a film, and it just wasn't in the first one. And like you said, this one, it's not the whole time, but it does it for a bit. I like that.
And even when it's not doing it, there are still characters regularly threatened by the animatronics.
Yeah.
Which the first movie really doesn't have, especially in regards to the main characters.
I like in this movie that the animatronic itself is actually bad. That Charlotte, even if Charlotte was like a sympathetic kid, is actually a villain in a way that
spooky villain. I really liked what they did with it. It was legitimately like spooky.
The CGI looked creepy.
And the way they shot it.
And yes.
Every time they shot it, I'm like, this is a legitimate horror shot.
You grabbed my arm more than once.
I did. I was startled.
I don't. One of my least favorite jump scares in horror is the something runs at the camera real fast, and I did that like 2 or 3 times. But like, I'm fine with it. What I love about these movies and why I'm okay with stuff like that is that I like how they serve as an introduction, like for children's horror. Like I know it's PG-13, but like you could hypothetically take a 9-year-old to this and they wouldn't be traumatized.
Also,
It's not too explicit. Yeah.
The running at the screen, I think, really works for just that particular character too. It's not like they're just like, this is an easy shot to do. It like works for how the character moves and it's constructed.
I thought the running at the screen was pretty creepy just because she was on all 4s, which is not the way people are supposed to move. Like that one worked on me.
The first one worked on me. The other two,
it's the long-limbed, almost because it's almost like a spider of a character. And they also did a lot of really good like cameras moving. There's a thing there, and you might not notice it, but when you do, you go, "Oh shit, there it is."
Yeah, I think you can get away with one. I think the moment you've jump scared me, you don't use the same jump scare.
That's fair.
But
overall, I liked the movie. I'm trying to think of specific scenes to talk about.
I like the car chase a lot.
I liked the car chase. I will say, classic. It's a Josh Hutcherson, winter between this and I Love LA. Good for that guy. He's having his renaissance. My goat.
I like the initial reveal of the marionette a lot.
I actually liked the flashback opening. Technically, it is another dream sequence.
I really
different.
The flashback really good. The ghost hunters as the present opens really good.
I liked that.
I
I feel like the first one had a similar opening where it had that really good like final shot of the flashback, and then it goes directly into the credits music.
I haven't. Have you played any of the games?
I have briefly played Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which is the one this was adapted to, but that was the only one I've actually played.
Okay,
I didn't beat it,
yeah,
not because I
haven't played any of
couldn't.
them.
Although
You know what
I
I
just
really liked about the
bounced
flashback
off.
is the understanding of why they're like that's like your spiritual mother.
Sure.
Because you don't realize it's that until like the after the credits where he's like, I was a business partner, and you go, oh, okay.
I will say, my experience with Five Nights at Freddy's is much more like game theory videos than it is playing the games. Although I do at some point want to go through and play them all.
Okay.
But I haven't. Although I will say, I had this idea. I pitched it to Harrison, and he did not like it, but I'm going to pitch it again. They should make a Five Nights at Freddy's the movie, the game, and have it be like a classic, like Resident Evil style survival horror
Okay,
game.
I like that.
I just think that would be fun.
I will say this it might be just seeing like actual 3-dimensional space, not the classic like pixels of the game.
Yeah.
But like looking at it, I'm like, I can understand why you would stick every other animatronic in a fun pizzeria. I don't understand why you would stick the marionette in a fun kids pizzeria. The bear, friendly. The bird, that is legitimately just a horror monster you were sticking in a pizzeria.
That's probably why the guy was no longer a business partner, because he had bad ideas.
Well, because we were talking about it. I'm like, can you imagine? Just because they're like, oh, because it's always they have to explain it in the game. They have to explain the movie where it's like this uses like way ahead of its time technology. I'm like,
Yeah.
Can you imagine making wireless technology, like tracking GPS technology, decades ahead of its time, building some of the world's most advanced robotics, and then going, I'm going to open up a Chuck E. Cheese with it.
Well, it's, yeah, William discovered how to bring the dead back to life
Yeah.
conceptually. Like the kids are still somewhat like cognizant of them. Like he in theory could have sold resurrection as a technology, and he instead used it to murder children and then like lord over them in their afterlife. It's weird.
His
What
like
a guy.
only 2 passions were killing kids and like pizzeria animatronics. I know that's a passion because when they're like padding over the blueprints in the Flash, it's like the dream that she's in. There's one for Freddie, and there's like a note about the top hat being very important to like the visual of the character. So he clearly cares about
He did.
building the correct animatronics. It's a passion of his. I'm like, it's such a wild buy-in. It's so easy to buy into it, but you're like, yeah, no, this man's one of the world's leading engineers.
Yeah.
Literally figures out how to defy death itself with gears and springs. And he's like, pizzeria.
What are you gonna do? Like, what else would you do?
I would sell it as a medical technology probably.
Imagine a Gulf War we win amazingly. There's no it undoes the trauma of Vietnam. We'd win the Gulf War so much because we have Freddie Fazbear on the front lines.
Have you seen the musical The Dolls of New Albion?
No.
It's about somebody who's able to bring the dead back to life, but puts them in. They can't bring the body back, so they put their soul in a mechanical suit that is limited in its ability to communicate. And then their son discovers that they invented this technology and patents it and sells it and makes a bunch of money. I would do that.
That feels, I don't know, that
But it's not a scam, right? Like, because
That
it's like
feels-
there was those like AI shit that people are doing where it's like, talk to your mother after she passes
that
away.
weird Caleb Worthy app.
Yeah, that shit's evil. But this isn't a scam. It's their real soul. They're actually
This is-
sentient and cognizant.
soul's
Like, this
the-
is fine.
Does that feel better or worse than my idea of putting Freddie Fazbear on the front lines of the Gulf War?
Worse because yours is worse because like it's still a person. That's the thing. It's still a whole human being. Like you're still just putting
you're
someone to
getting
war.
away. You're trying to get away with having child soldiers.
Yeah, like it's weird.
I mean, I always am.
But like it's not a scam. Like there, even Dolls of New Albion. It's a little scammy, although it's not fully explained. But the guy said that part of the intention was that like you don't fully know which soul is going in, and they can't talk more or less. But like these kids can like talk in the suits. It's like this is not a scam. He just brought someone back to life. It doesn't seem like being alive hurts them necessarily. It doesn't seem like they're thrilled about it, but who's thrilled about being alive in a human body?
But they're
Like,
also-
it doesn't seem like it's torture.
They're still capable
he
of
is
joy.
torturing them, but being in the suit doesn't seem like torture.
They have the whole
definitionally.
joy sequence of building the fort.
Exactly. They are capable of experiencing happiness. They make friends. Like they're clearly sentient to some extent. But so I would sell it, and it's not a scam. It's not evil. You could argue it's like overly capitalistic to sell it, but like, what else are you gonna do, right? Like the guy who patented what was it, insulin for only $1. That shit still got bought up by corporations. So if somebody is going to make money from it, I would want it to be me.
Also your profit margins,
Because I can't make it nobody. Obviously, I would prefer to make it nobody, and I think that's more humanitarian. But if I couldn't do that, I would prefer it's me instead of like somebody who's already a billionaire, right? Like, you know what I mean?
No, I got
and your
you.
profit margin's insane because
Give all that
like,
money to the
it's-
Trevor
it's-
Project or whatever.
It's gears and springs. Like your like cost of making these suits is so cheap because people are like, oh, you need advanced technology. You're like, no, I just need parts you need to make a clock.
You need
and your kid will live forever.
Chuck E. Cheese level budget to bring the dead back to life. That's a fucking marketable idea. Anyway,
I do like how, by the way, I think every time they cut to it, the whole like under the marionette stage, I like how it's like a Frankenstein's castle where it's like, so we're like really good at building robotics. We're like really good at building things. How should we build the whole like thing for the marionette to come up? I think we should do it like a Victorian steampunk castle. I want the biggest gears. I want pulley systems.
something else I want to say about the movie that the first one also did that I think is really good, as being both an introduction to horror, but also an adaptation of a franchise that the people who first watched it are adults now, is I do think doing the dual protagonist, one kid, one adult bit works really well for this specifically. Mm-hmm. That like if you were 13 when the first one came out, you're an adult now and you can relate to the Josh Hutcherson character. But if you're a kid, you can relate, I don't know the actress's name, but you can relate to the Abby character. I'll look up her name.
I also think Newman was an incredible casting.
I agree.
That's the exact person. When he was like when he's trying to escape being killed, and he was just making classic Newman, like the classic noises he makes in all of his characters. Yeah. He goes, I'm like, this is so good. This is so perfect.
Piper Rubio is the young actress's name, but like you can latch onto her as your perspective character. I just think that it's not like groundbreaking or anything. I just think that's really good for what it is, for like a FNAF adaptation. Also, Matt Pat in it again, not as the role he was in the first time. Kind of crazy. They gave him a real role. Yeah. Like it's a real role in the first movie because all roles in movies are real roles. But like he's like one of the more important characters.
Who
all
does
things
he play?
He's Toy Bonnie. So he's like, for some of the scenes, he is the main like horror. Obviously, for most of the movie, it's either the Marionette or Toy Chica. But still, like he's easily the third most important animatronic in the movie.
Yeah, he's an actor, like an actor.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Didn't he go to theater school?
But he hasn't been an actor for like years. No disrespect to him. He's been doing other stuff. Matt Pat very successful. I'm not denying that. But like in the first one, like he was an actor, but they didn't give him like
They gave him a cameo role.
Like a media role, like a throughout the movie role.
Yeah.
He only really had to do that one scene, and he was good at it. I'm not denying that. But like it's cool. Like he's like maybe in the third one he'll get an even bigger role. By the fourth one, he'll be the protagonist.
That's what I'm saying. He is Freddie.
Also, I like it would have been easy not to do this, but I think it's good that they are. That Five Nights at Freddy's 3, the game, is set in a haunted house horror attraction based on the urban legend of the 5 kids who were murdered. And that they are specifically set that up at the end of this movie where they're making a horror, like a haunted house. And they get the real spring trap as their main thing.
Can you imagine being one of the biggest cultural touchstones of like the last couple of decades being a Chuck E. Cheese where kids died?
That would be crazy.
Like you just wake up, you're like, yeah, this takes up a lot of the American zeitgeist.
But I mean, true crime had its moment. Like it's not that crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And I don't know about this one, but I know the first one is also pretty directly based off of one of the books. But I've never read any of the books. But I know the story of the first one is like a mix of the story of the first game and one of the more popular like novels, like kids novels.
Yeah. I didn't know there were books.
There are a bunch. They're like pretty popular. They sell pretty well.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense because like, you know, it's like a modern Goosebumps.
Yeah. And yeah, it's cool. I think this is a fun franchise in general. I'm glad that this is getting sequels in a way that I don't always feel about even movies I like. Like, I think this is a concept you can expand on without feeling like it's stretching.
Also, it suck because like so much of this movie ends on like there's going to be a sequel.
Yeah.
And so like they didn't leave the story in a good place for it not to have a sequel.
They bought 2 and 3. You told me they bought 2 and 3 at the same time?
I think, that they ordered them both.
That's probably why they made it that way then.
I think so.
Because the first one, you could have a sequel, but it's not like the story. You could just have the first movie and have a complete set story with like, ooh, he's still out there. But this is like very aggressive.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. The games obviously have a bunch of sequels, but I think there was definitely a world in which they made one movie and it was like, yeah, you don't need to make any more. But I feel like this was a smart addition and that they got to get the movies what they did to the games, that like expand.
They got to get their money back on those giant.
Ways. This is a Blumhouse movie. Yeah.
They got to get the money back on the robots they built. Yeah. Like, we have to use these.
Robots in this movie, the new ones, I think also good. Still,
they look good. They look real.
Yeah, they're still one of the best parts of the movies, just watching them walk around and stuff. Megan Fox, I think, gives a good performance for what it is.
Yeah.
I expected her from the marketing to be more of an emotional core to the movie. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. She was just in the marketing a lot. But I think for what the performance is, she does a good job.
I kind of expected the voice to be more Megan Fox, like, and less, like, translated. I just think if you're gonna if you're hiring someone of that status,
you might as well.
You want it to sound more. I'm not saying it should just be her voice, but like
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It should be more recognizable. But I mean, it's a good performance. I think most of the performances in this movie are good. Yeah. Even the like one scene, like the older couple or the daughter and her mother,
or like the ghost hunters,
Like I think none of them ever took me out of it. No point in the movie felt too taken out. The only point that I really felt that is a me personal skill issue, which is when I could tell that the Tori Bonnie voice was Matt Pat doing a silly voice. That took me out a little bit, but that's a me issue. That's not a problem with the movie. I think it's a well-constructed horror movie for what it is. It is a great introduction for kids to the genre.
There's a lot of good shots. Like, I really like the door shot when she's in the dream sequence, when she's like, I'm not afraid. She's doing that scene of like, you can't hurt me. I'm not afraid of you anymore. And then the doors go like,
I did like that. I also like, technically the opening was a dream too, but it was much more of a flashback. I did like that was the only dream in the movie.
Yeah, it wasn't a direct dream. It was like, this is vaguely what she's dreaming about, but it wasn't from her perspective.
Yeah, that one with her dad was the only dream in the movie. Because I do agree with you. I think the first one had so many dream sequences that they stopped feeling special. It stopped having that impact it's supposed to.
Dream sequence, and it's not about the pizzeria. It's not about any of the animatronics. It's a man watching his brother get kidnapped just over and over and over again. I've seen it. I don't need to see this again.
I mean, I think this is a well-constructed horror movie. It's not The Thing or whatever, but like I would recommend it to anybody who's into the genre. I think it's super watchable. I think it's like fun.
Yeah.
Josh Hutcherson, as I already said, I think it gives a really good performance in it. Yeah. All things considered. He's like likable.
Both him and the woman who plays Vanessa.
Yeah, I forget her name. I'll look it
up. Really good at playing people who are so horrifically traumatized by what they've experienced.
Yeah.
There's that level of like emotional detachment that someone like you could read as like a bad performance, but it's not, because it's just they've been through, like, they literally had to deal with like dead ghost children in animatronic suits.
Elizabeth Lale.
Like her ghost panic attack.
Yeah.
So good.
I liked that. I think almost all the performances are easy to like relate to. They all like feel like they push the movie along. I think watchable is probably the best word to describe this movie.
Yeah, I unfortunately, and you unfortunately, are men approaching or in our 30s. And so, like,
I could have played this game when it was 13 when the game came out. Like, that was freshman year of college. This game, I just never played them because I'm not a big horror game guy. But like, these games are like, because obviously it's very popular with younger people. But these games, I am one of the target audiences for this game, which is like gamer and 18-year-old gamer playing this game, because it was very popular in my generation. A lot of people I know, I was friends with, were playing the FNAF games.
Yeah, I played FNAF 2 a little bit, but I still want to go back and
it's a bit of a cross-generational game.
See, as someone who didn't play the games, it feels like it's marketed to kids, and I think that's correct, and I think that's good and that's appropriate. And
because the games were like, people my age were playing them, but they were like It's because it's a fun
They
novel.
were kids' horror games. Yeah.
It's fun and
Yeah.
novel. That's how we're playing it. Where it's like if you're like really into actual horror games, you're not like I want to play FNAF. You're playing FNAF because it's a fun novel tale.
Yeah, if you're
genre.
into actual horror games, you're playing Anatomy or whatever.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah, which is why like the
Iron
critic
Lung.
score confuses
Yeah.
me so much because like it is what it's trying to do. Like yes, like male critic who is approaching 40 or 50, you are not going to be as like thrilled by this as someone who is 14 watching this.
Well, because they're completely out. Because like even as someone who didn't play them, I was enough in the demographic where like I understand all the basic tenets of the games. I know a lot of just cultural osmosis, knowing things about the games.
Yeah.
Like I don't know as much lore as you do, but I know like the basic beats, and so like I'm able to see this and be like, oh, because like. Jenna said like this has a lot of good reference to people in the game. I haven't played the game, but I'm still able to be like, oh, I know what that is, and
Yeah.
pick up on it. But if you're not hooked into like the internet cultural zeitgeist, it's gonna do nothing for you.
Probably.
Yeah, these are the movies I'm just confused why. I get that they're basically forced to review every movie under the sun. It's like their job. But these are the movies I'm confused why they have certain people review certain movies. Like, you kind of almost want someone who I'm not saying we should have like specialized critics who review like specific categories of movies, or like if we had a bigger like if publications had bigger budgets, they should be able to hire.
Because the
and
problem
have
is most
specialized
publications
critics.
have like one. I'm the movie critic.
Yeah, not to suck his dick too bad, but I do think that's something Ebert was good at, and that a lot of some contemporary critics aren't.
We slobber. I personally slobber is not being suck his dick all.
Which is like, he was, I think, good at watching a kid's movie and being like, I'm going to take this seriously, but I also do understand that it has different goals
Yes.
than movies with a different demographic.
So why he was the GOAT, because he was able to exist where like anyone could read his reviews because they
Yeah.
were for everyone.
Which is, I feel like there are some critics who are like, treat being a kid's movie as a inherent negative, as opposed to just like a difference in demographic, a difference in intended audience.
Yeah.
Whereas like this movie, I liked it for nostalgia reasons, and also I just think it's pretty well constructed. But I think if I was younger, I would like. I think it's good for its demographic. I think it's a good kids movie.
And FNAF was never a part of my anything. Like, I had
Yeah.
no attachment to anything. I knew it existed. I saw a couple of the game theory videos. I
Yeah.
never played any of it. It was never a part of my world. And I can still go into this and being like, to me, this is like a 5 out of 10. And I think I gave this 2.5 on Letterboxd. I'm probably gonna bump that up to 3. Like, now that I'm removed from the situation, I can be nicer about it.
also the music,
But
rocks.
like, yeah,
the music. I said in the first movie, the music still fucking slaps the entire.
It has a good
Give me
soundtrack.
more haunted ghost children chanting pizzeria songs. Let's go.
I think
like if it was made for me, if I were younger, or if it were a part of my world, like I am like I can put myself in that position and being like, this succeeds at its goal.
this is one of those movies that I watch and I like feel happy that there are good kids movies still being made, that it's not all like live action Disney slop remakes, that like kids today are still gonna have some bangers to like watch and remember as adults, as like of this time for them, part of their childhood.
They're going to have movies that they're going to grow older and grow out of, and they're going to rewatch and think is silly, but are still going to mostly hold up. Like, I think that's beautiful. Not all, like, there are some slashers like that you can watch today and they still hold up. Not all of them, obviously,
But some, yeah.
But there are some that still hold up, and I feel like this is a movie that, like, when these kids are our age, like when they have entered their 30s and grown out of the Five Nights at Freddy's phase, they can watch with their younger siblings or whatever, and being like, or their nieces and nephews or their own kids, and being like, I loved this as a kid. 30's a little young to have a teenager, but you know what I mean. Like, they can watch this as an adult with their kids or whatever, and being like, I loved this, I can share this, and being like, okay, there are like flaws with it. It is not as perfect as I remember it being, but it still mostly holds up.
It's
and,
like they're
it had a special place in my
it's like
heart.
one of their like Gremlins or something. It's this like child,
Yeah.
this foundational child horror,
Yeah.
which is something we haven't seen much of in recent times.
This is kind of the only big example I can think of that's like new.
Because horror really moved
Clown
over.
in a Cornfield, I've heard, was intro.
I saw Clown in the Cornfield. It is sort of intro, and they're like high
I didn't
schoolers,
watch
so I
it,
guess
yeah.
you could watch it.
If
you were younger.
Scary Tales to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah.
The issue was that horror really moved into really hard into like the high conceptual horror for a period, which is good for the genre, but like it there wasn't really any like intro.
Yeah.
This is for kids.
Yeah. Or you had like Goosebumps exists and Goosebumps will always exist.
Or like the horror.
Well, that's what I meant by like new. Like obviously there's tons
Or like the
of
horror I like, where it's like not the high level. I'm looking for super terrifying stuff. Just the general. You go and see it. It's a spooky movie. It's not like a terrifying horror movie where you're like, oh, holy fuck. But you're just like, this is just a good horror movie. It's fun. It's not like deeply psychological or deeply traumatized or deeply like unsettling. It's just a good spooky time.
it is a movie I could very easily recommend to anybody except for the like truly squeamish.
Sure.
Like if you can't watch any horror movies, there's probably a little too much horror. But if you can stomach any amount of horror, you can stomach Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
There's yes, they show blood. They don't show blood from body.
No, there's a little bit of blood. There are several kills, and there are a lot of scares.
The scariest thing in this movie is the
marionette.
marionette.
Yeah.
Is the marionette, and if it like the running towards the camera is like that's the scariest thing in this movie.
Yeah, probably. It's good. I mean,
It's really good.
And I don't mean like they're off screen, like we don't see them. I mean like we don't literally see the kill like we would in some horror. Like they cut away. They show the feet of the person when the head gets smashed or whatever.
I think
like,
the goriest is when the like broken you see the chunks of the guy fall from the broken Foxy, but that is very small through a like the film quarter. It's mostly just the sound of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would call Five Nights at Freddy's 2 watchable. I said that earlier. But I think that
I guess it's blood in the water. That's
recommend it to anybody. Less than 2 hours. I would recommend seeing it in theaters just because I do think some of the scares and shots benefit from the wider screen. But it is also a movie that I think like 2 years from now, you see it on a streaming service, you can just put it on, spend an afternoon. Like I think it's super like fun and enjoyable, which is what I assume was aiming to be. Like I don't think this was aiming for Best Picture. No disrespect.
But no, I'm just shocked that like for as big of like, I know we treated this as a meme, but like even when we went to the theater and there was a bunch of people walking out in costumes and like making in jokes, like as much as like everyone else is treating this movie like a meme, the movie takes itself seriously.
I think that's good.
Which is the correct decision.
Yeah.
I think it would have been so easy to lean into. I think it's the more interest. I don't know if it's the correct one. I mean, it's working out, so it is. But like, it's the more interesting decision because it would have been so easy to turn these into joke movies. And I think like taking itself seriously, like they can work. Like they work as movies.
A kid who has never heard of Five Nights at Freddy's before could watch these two movies and get into them as a franchise.
Or not even.
Yeah, it stands on its own.
And even if they don't get into Five Nights at Freddy's as a franchise, which I think they will, but like even if they serve as like stepping stones of like they could get into the genre now.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, depending on the age of the kid, I don't know what I would show next in the genre, but like no.
At 4 years old.
Joking about doing Exorcist, I think the next step would be like an It level movie, honestly.
I think it would be like Clown in the Cornfield, stuff like that.
Or classic Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the age, but yeah.
Oh, The Monkey actually might be a good next step.
Sure. Right. I guess. Do we have any more?
I have final thoughts. It's not about FNAF though. So if anyone has final thoughts about FNAF, it's about our movie experience.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on final thoughts on the movie?
Not that I can think of. Just another shout out to Five Nights at Freddy's as a franchise not taking the easy way out of making a joke of itself.
Yeah, I think if this movie has one big flaw, it's that it the first half hour is better than the rest of the movie, but the first act is the best act of this movie. But like,
oh, quick thing I do want to say that I actually find interesting: the Michael Afton character is really different to the way most people take his characterization in the games. The games don't characterize any of the characters too strictly, so you can kind of do whatever. But a lot of the more modern interpretations of him have him hyper sympathetic. And so having him be like a true fucking mustache twirling villain is fun. That's a fun, like, left turn to take on that character.
Like, it truly, like, I have accepted my father's role for me, and I'm kind of like almost Joker-esque, like kind of broke him, or more Riddler-esque, but like Riddler crazy than Joker crazy, but like
yeah. But I liked that as a take on the character. It makes him feel different to the way most people take him in the games.
Yeah, I mean everyone's fine in this. McKenna Grace.
Oh yeah, shout out to her.
Yeah, she was great. But yeah, any like final thoughts? That's it.
It was wild watching the Sydney Sweeney trailer, knowing that movie's gonna flop.
Oh yeah.
I was watching and I was like, oh, what's this? This doesn't look. Oh, is that Sydney Sweeney? Oh, this movie's gonna flop.
Yeah, I know nothing about it.
It doesn't look good.
I've heard good things about the book forever ago, but it doesn't look particularly good as a movie. Also,
it's not. I know for a fact this is not going to be the Sydney Sweeney movie that makes money.
Also, absolutely crazy that interviewer gave Sydney Sweeney the softest ball of all time. People thought your ad could be taken a little bit white supremacy. What do you think about that? Easiest response in the world. That was never our intention. Yeah. Instead, hits them with the ad speaks for itself.
When I have something to say, people will know.
Yeah.
The joke didn't land. My bad.
Yeah. Easiest softball in the world of like, oh, of course that was never our intention. And like, I feel like the interviewer wouldn't press her on that. I probably, as an audience member, would have been like, yeah, I mean, it easily could have been.
When you see the
just
interviewer,
a colossal mistake.
She doesn't impress because I think the interviewer is so taken aback.
Yeah.
Because she's like almost laughing. Because like when you're doing a serious interview and someone says something utterly absurd to you, you're like, I don't know how to follow. She's like, I don't know how to follow that up.
Truly crazy.
This movie is projected to make a little under 60 million. We're wrapping up. This movie is projected to make a little under 60 million opening weekend. It made just under 30 opening night, which is, I don't know if that's Thursday into Friday or just Friday. I don't know how fast they get the
I don't know
information, but it seems like this movie's going to make some solid money. And our theater was almost sold out, and then
we saw a midnight showing and it was almost sold out.
Yeah, when we were waiting for the theater, there was a crowd of people who exited from the last showing, and like half of them were dressed up. Like this seems like a thing that like people are really, really into, and I'm happy for it. I hope they keep making them.
This is the best thing in the world in that it actually gets people to go to the theaters, which we need more of.
Yeah,
this and Superman. Single-handedly saving cinema by getting people to actually go to the theaters, as opposed to Sinners single-handedly saving cinema by proving that movies can still be good.
Sinners made crazy money.
It's the second best performing non-IP movie of the last like 50 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, to get and people go to the theaters for other things. I'm being a little glib, obviously.
Sure.
We're finally crawling out of the MCU hole, where like quality aside, those were the movie experience for so long that they swallowed all the air.
Yeah, thank God.
And we're finally getting away from it because it's about to crash and burn.
Maybe. I hope that the Netflix thing doesn't go through, but we will wait.
Yeah.
And we will see.
And on that note, do you want to do socials?
Yeah, I can do socials. If you want to follow my own personal adventure to open up a pizzeria using advanced robotic technology where children may or may not die, you can find me at Midwest_magician. I'm going to be doing some interesting things in the pizzeria space, and I think you should all follow me and see my cool hot takes on what does it mean to be a children's pizzeria, you know? First thing I'm going to do, good pizza. You think that'd be number one for a lot of these places? Isn't.
But that's on your personal.
Yeah, that's my own personal adventure. If you want to follow me and Harrison's joint adventure, The Honking Man, I'll settle out a name eventually. You know about that. You listen. So you can follow that on Two Men Movie Podcast at Instagram. That's where we'll be posting like show updates. If you want to send any X Reader to Vanessa, if you want to do Vanessa X Reader, that's as always Two Men Movie Podcast at gmail.com. The generosity double rate is going for the month of December because I love Christmas. If you want to see our YouTubes, where again Clowning Man will be shown, I might post some like pizzeria ads up there, just try to like capitalize on that. That's Two Men and a Movie Podcast on YouTube.
It's show store in the description. Marvin the Movie Walrus
gives us 2 fins up.
2 fins? Okay.
2 fins. He had a great time.
I'm fine with that. Marvin knows what this movie is.
He said almost, and I'm going to quote him here, almost as good as a fish.
Didn't even try and do the voice this time. You can follow me on Instagram.
I was quoting him. Do you want me to bring him in? I thought the implication was anytime I'm doing the voice, that's actually Marvin present at the recording. No, that's the fiction we're in.
So
we need like a story Bible or something.
You could first. Okay, no, this is off.
You can find him at harrisonpoole.com. That's HARRISONPOOLEDOTCOM on Instagram, TikTok, Lemonade,
and Letterboxd.
Letterboxd is HDPOOLE124.
Right.
Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Lemonade.
Threads is the other one I forgot. And you can find me at EKPoole, EKPOOLE on Letterboxd.
Thank you so much to Tristan Hostetter for theme music. Thank you guys for listening. Tune in next week for whatever Christmas movie I decide to bring. So long and good night.
Hugs and kisses.
Merry Christmas.
This is Matthew and Harrison's Two Men in a Movie. It's not what it sounds like.